What's going on, YouTube? I'm back again with my weekly series of what I watched this past week. This is what I watched from starting February 10th to this past February 16th, so the 10th through the 16th. Let's go ahead and jump on into this. First up, I watched Bad Grandpa. I just picked this up not that long ago. It's one of those, what do they call it? Hidden camera movies. I did enjoy this movie. I probably would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't seen the previews. You know, it's Johnny Knoxville dresses Irving Zisman. His wife dies. Something happens with his daughter. She's going to jail. So he has to take his grandson cross country. I don't think it's a cross country. I think it's, you know, from like the New York area or something like that. A little more down south. So there's some complications in that. To me, it's more like it's just trying to be Borat. You know, it's all the success of Borat and Bruno, and they're more trying to copycat that. Like I said, it's funny. I just didn't think it was as funny as those two. It would have been funnier if I hadn't seen the previews. The end is definitely the funniest part when they go enter the beauty pageant. Alright, next up, I watched Dogtown and the Z-Boys. This is actually the true story. If you've ever seen the movie Lords of Dogtown, this is the actual documentary on the true story of that. And I love that movie. And this documentary, if you like that movie, you'll definitely love this documentary. It's like everything the movie is, plus all the extra details. It's the full-on true story of the Z-Boys. If you don't know, it's a bunch of surfers in what's it, Venice? I want to say it's Venice. Yeah, it is Venice. You know, it's a group of surfers. Then they start skateboarding. When they can't surf, they go to skateboarding competitions, and they completely revolutionize skateboarding, and eventually turn it into what it is today. If you haven't seen this, highly recommend checking this out. It's called Dogtown and the Z-Boys. Alright, and next up I have Star Wars The Clone Wars Volume 2. I'm just now starting to get into these because Season 5 recently came out. I saw the previews for Season 5. I buy all of them when they come out, I just haven't watched them. But Season 5 is when they get into The Mandalorian, which, if you don't know, that's Boba Fett. And if you can't tell by my shirt right now, I'm a huge Boba Fett fan. So I'm watching all the seasons to get caught up to Season 5. I'm only on Season 2. I only watched the first disc on this one. So I'm trying to get caught up to Season 5 so I can watch Season 5, because Season 5 looks really, really good. These actually are pretty good. You know, you'd think it's just made for little kids, but it's actually not. You know, adults can enjoy these. So, you know, if you ever see this on TV, you might want to check it out. You know, it's pretty good. Alright, next up, I watched another animated series, Xmen, the animated series. This is actually only available in the UK. I got this from Zabby. Huge fan of this when I was a kid. This was my favorite cartoon. This and the Spider-Man one that was on. I also liked Batman the Animated Series. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of cartoons I watched, but this one was definitely one of my favorites. It's pretty gritty, you know, for a kid's cartoon. I don't know why they don't make kids cartoons like these now. Now it's like real kitty cartoons. But, you know, this was on when I was like 5 or 6, and yeah, it wasn't really too violent for me. Now, well, you know, you watch it now, you're like, yeah, it is kind of violent, but it's really good. You know, watching it years later. All right, next up here I have the incredible Burt Wonderstone. It was like $7 at Walmart, so I decided to pick it up. It's got Steve Carell and Steve Buscemi as magicians, and then, you know, they had like a 20-year career. Then Jim Carrey's character comes in and like messes up everything for him because he's this new hot magician, kind of like Chris Angel, you know, except he's really not a magician. He just does stuff that's retarded. I really didn't like his character in this movie. You know, that's probably what they were going for, but I really did not like him. The movie overall, it could have been better. It's basically Steve Carell and Steve Buscemi. Their act gets old. You know, they've been doing it for so many years, and then Jim Carrey's character comes into the fold, and in Vegas, and all eyes are on him. So they get pushed to the side. Well, they get in a fight. Steve Buscemi's character leaves. Steve Carell is just, you know, basically washed up. Then he ends up working for this retirement home, and runs into his childhood idol in the home, and that's when he starts to develop, you know, his love for magic again. And they team up for the opening of a new casino. You know, they do one last act, and they make the audience disappear. And you know, they really beat. Before then, they had to beat Jim Carrey's act, which I won't go into. I don't want to spoil it too much for you. But they end up getting their job back, getting their partnership back together. It was an okay movie. It wasn't that great. Next up, we have Fanboys. This is basically a bunch of Star Wars fans. I thought I was a Star Wars fanboy until I watched this, and I just realized, yeah, maybe I'm just a more than casual fan of Star Wars. Because these guys are full on. Every day they live and breathe Star Wars. One of them has cancer. It takes place in 1999. So one of them has terminal cancer, and what their goal is they're going to travel across the United States to California, break into the Skywalker Ranch, and steal a rough copy of Star Wars Episode 1. So it's kind of like Road Trip with lots of Star Wars involved. There's some Star Trek appearances in there. All kinds of Star Wars cameos from people from the original trilogy and the new trilogy. If you haven't seen this by now, you might have seen it. It had a limited theatrical run. But it is hilarious. Pick this up if you haven't seen it. Excuse me. Alright, next up I have Step Brothers here. You guys haven't seen this. I don't know what's wrong with your life. This movie is also absolutely hilarious. When I'm 4 years old, I want to be like these two. These guys are hilarious. You haven't seen it by now. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. Their parents get married. They become stepbrothers. They're both like 40-year-olds that still live at home. You know, what more is there to say? It's these two in character as basically like 40-year-old virgins. It doesn't really say that they're virgins, but you know, just picture the two of them trying to be something like that. And they stay in the same room. They refuse to grow up. Check this out if you haven't seen it. Alright, next up I have Jonah Hex. Stupid movie. Don't watch it. It's dumb. I got it because it was $5 at Walmart, and I figured for $5 I could give it a try. I saw previews for this, and I said, that doesn't even look good. Why would they even adapt that into a film? Don't watch this. You know, Josh Brolin and John Malkovich, I'll give them their credit where it's due. They did do really good in their performance, but the movie itself is dumb. Don't even waste your time. Alright, then I watched The Little Mermaid. I'm on this kick where I want to rewatch all the Disney Renaissance movies, which actually started with The Little Mermaid. It was like 1989 to 1999. I think it ended with Tarzan. So it's basically all the Disney movies from when I was a kid. This one was just okay. You know, it's a little more girly. This is, I didn't watch it in 3D, but this is a 3D edition. I thought I'd start with this one, even though I just watched Aladdin not that long ago. Aladdin's way better than this. It's not bad. It's just kind of girly, you know. I'm kind of wondering. Sometimes I wonder why I own girly movies, but you know, it's Disney. It's all right. Okay, so last what I watched season 1, and Season 2 of The Walking Dead. I'm not going to do a review because I should, if it's not up by now, it should be up in a few hours. I just did a complete review / rant on the series in a previous video. So it should be up soon if it's not already up. If you want to see my thoughts on that, go ahead and check that out. That's all I got for this week. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Let me know how you feel about my videos. If you want to see any more videos, or you know what kinds of videos you want to see. Let me know how I'm doing on this YouTube channel. That's all I got for now. I'm out.